Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Rietspruit Game Reserve. We are heading on north. I'm taking you north this afternoon. We're going to head towards Leadwood, which is the northern section of the reserve, for fun. It's not that there's something particular we want to find there, but they've had good rhino sightings there recently. Because of the beautiful clearings in that area, they've had great plains game, and the bush is so vibrant that seeing plains game in the open flats is exquisite. And then there's always the chance for cheetah and jackal, and the lions are, some of them are on Kaya, so I'm kind of hoping if we're in the northern parts of Rietspruit, Leadwood, if the rest of the pride and males are in the area, then we'll get lucky with them too. But before I get too carried away, hello everybody. Hello Connie, nice to see you. Hello Brian and Brandy. Hello Jennifer. Hello Carol. Hello Chris and Nicole Hattie. Hello Bob, Elsa. Did I say hi to Brandy? Hello Brandy, if I didn't. Hello Betty. There's a whole bunch of you with us today. Hello Mary. And lots of chats. Yes, okay, if I missed you, shout at me. Shout at me and I will greet you personally, and maybe I'll sing you a song. Maybe not. I just caught a glimpse of Connie's message there to say that it's 4 degrees Fahrenheit, and to that I say, no thank you. No thank you. I'm not sure I could handle 4 degrees Fahrenheit. That is the kind of stuff that South Africans get frostbite in. We're not used to that kind of weather. It is very nice and very warm and very sunny and very soul-filling weather here. It's not too hot. We are not stewing. It is, whoops, sorry. There's 2 emerald spotted wood doves that were on the road. Taking it easy, and we flushed them out. But it's just a beautiful temperature here this afternoon. It's a stunning Sunday. It's not like that weather we were having in November where you felt like somebody, cute little pipit. Lots of birds on the road today. It's not like that weather we were having in November when it felt like every part of you was going to start melting and you were becoming deformed because you were becoming a puddle on the floor. This is lovely. This is perfect weather.
Anyone with the sheet up?
Now the last, -4. Thanks for correcting me, Mary. That's worse, just so you know. -4 is worse than 4. No, it is high 20s. Here, let me double check so that I can not lie to any of you. But I think it is, if I were to guess, I would say it's 28 degrees Celsius. What would you say? Basil? We have Basil on camera, by the way. Andrew's back at FC. Oh! I said hi. What did I say? I'm sure I said 28. 28. Maybe I didn't say 28, maybe I said high 20s. I was thinking 28. It's 28 degrees Celsius, so that is, I'm a bit rusty on my Fahrenheit conversions, but I'm going to go with high 70s, low 80s, around there. Very moderate, very pleasant. Now, hello, there you go, Andrew is a little winner, 82, roughly 82 degrees Fahrenheit. So I wasn't as rusty as I thought I was. It's funny when you, take a little sabbatical from live drives, you lose all the things you think are second nature. So use it or you lose it, Fahrenheit to Celsius conversions. But our last drive we had together was on Wednesday, and I did think that it was hysterical because I thought that it was going to be a beautiful afternoon. We were not going to struggle with signal. We were not going to struggle with weather. It was lovely like this, and weather got in the way, because just as I had said to all of you, oh, it's such a pleasant evening, I think the rain will hold off, lightning just started to hit the ground, not all around us. That's very dramatic, but it did start striking over Haste. We were a bit further north. I kid you not, Basil and I closed the show, and not even 3 minutes later we were drenched to the point of looking like we'd jumped in a swimming pool, our top halves at least. So it was a very good call. That storm moved in so quickly. But we also had an amazing drive back once we had closed the show. We found those lions we'd been tracking all drive, which was very frustrating because I would have loved to have shown you. But we found the lions. It was 3 lionesses, and then we found them, but we were getting so drenched with the camera gear we couldn't stick around. And so we carried on, and as we carried on we saw now it's sun is setting, it's that moody time of the afternoon, there's a big thunderstorm all around us, and there's this huge shape in the road, and so we've just left the lionesses, and one of the lions, the males, is walking up the road towards us. We let him pass, he comes right past us. And then, just before we found the lionesses, actually, we had 2 honey badgers. So we had 2 honey badgers, which was it's always cool. Basil was super excited about it. I think it was only the 2nd time in his life he'd seen honey badgers, so he was freaking out. And then we had the lions, who were beautiful, and exactly where we were tracking, the direction we were going, it was just so inconvenient, also unfortunate. And then we kind of continued about another 300 meters, and there were 3 rhinos in the road. So all on Mambakronkel. We had a lot of activity on Mambakronkel, but the reality is that if we had continued drive, we probably would have done a bigger loop, and we would have found them later in the drive, and maybe the rhinos would have crossed earlier, and so you wouldn't necessarily have seen everything. The reason we saw it all is because we were racing the most direct route back to camp to save the equipment and ourselves from the electrical storm. Sounds so cool. Oh, that was for Becky. Well, I'll take it too, Mary. It does sound so cool because it was so cool. And Carol, honey badgers are amazing. These 2 were not the most relaxed. I've seen significantly more relaxed honey badgers, if I am honest with you. You know what else would be so nice on this drive would be if we could find our wild dogs. I'm itching to see them again. They were on Kaya 2 evenings ago. Brent and I went on a bumble to try and learn how to use the new camera equipment. Brent had a much better idea than me. I am not very good at videographer's work, but I'm gonna have to learn, you know. You're never too old to learn. But that thing looks like a pilot's cockpit, the new camera. There's buttons on every square inch of the camera. It's like a box, if you imagine a box, and it's just covered in buttons. So I'm definitely going to have to do some YouTubing and figuring out how exactly I go about using the new camera. Luckily with Andrew and Basil around, I'm not going to have to worry too much, because I know they're going to want to take their turns and enjoy it. Hi Michael, nice to see you again. So the cheetah brothers have been found there in the southeastern corner of Kaya, which is not so close to us. In fact, it's quite far. But the nice thing about them being on Kaya is that they're only there a few days, and then they tend to do a loop back in this direction. So we'll give them a day or 2, and then we will expect them back on Rietspruit or even on Leadwood. I would love to see Mabai, and I would love to see her Baba. because
Maybe it's interesting. There's not a 1 out of 5 actually bunting to comes from the dam.
I mean, Mabai's cub is 15 months old now, so she's not quite there. She's going to need a few more months with her mother, but she's starting to learn those really vital survival skills, and she's probably going to be starting to feel the push. Mabai is going to come into season in the next couple of months, and then that process is going to be escalated as well. So I think that as much time as we can spend with Mabai and Baba, it's just what I call it, you know, the more time we can spend with her, the better. It'll be really awesome if we can watch her when she makes her first kill. She might have already made her first kill. She's killed small things, I'm sure. But it's about milestones now. Some people have children and grandchildren that they watch for milestones. We have cheetah cubs and things like that. I must say it has been amazing to be back on the Rietspruit, especially since Gareth and I missed all of the rain. We missed the rain. So we've come back and it is entirely transformed. Of course, we had the green flush in the December period, and it was beautifully lush in December, but it didn't have we just didn't have the volume of water that we've got now. Hi, Birdman. Well, how are you? Yeah, it's been a while. We got our leave after Christmas. We had Christmas in January. Yeah. No, been good. How was your Christmas? That's good. You're heading south?
I've been loop. I've been to the south. I was just trying to see if I was in the rail tracks on the fence line. I couldn't see any. I've been to Sequoia. It looks like the bulls, I presume. May have been there earlier. Because that road between the dam and the fence line is some fresh branches and stuff. And it looks like they've gone down the bank and the dam wall there.
Yeah.
It looks like they've left already.
Oh, okay.
But there's a commercial vehicle there now.
Oh, all right.
And then that's all. I've seen some rhino and milledwood this afternoon.
Okay.
That was it.
Where were they on Edward? I think I'm going to head north.
I don't know if you know where my house is. On the other side of the river.
Yeah.
There's a road there, so I think it's how you know.
Oh, yeah, I know, yeah.
There's an open area. They made a helipad there.
Okay.
In that block, they've been staying in there because there's some nice grass in there.
Okay.
So they've been going there the last couple of days.
Oh,
so
awesome.
If you go into that area, there's a cow and a calf there.
Is that the new one?
No.
No.
I think it's the calf's quite big now.
Okay,
so,
okay. Okay, great, thank you. I'm going to go have a look. Good luck. Okay, we're going to go have a look, but we are far from Edward. But we are going to go have a look and see if we can see some rhinos or jackal or cheetah or lions, like I've said previously. Hello, Mum Ruth, nice to see you. It's very green, very lush, and there is so much water. There's water everywhere. Now we're on the Boskamp airstrip, which is Lula and Kalula's turf. It's so interesting because Lula and Kalula are very comfortable. For those of you who don't know, they're two rhino cows. But Lula and Kalula are very comfortable with the vehicle in this open space, in this airstrip space. I don't know if it's because there's no thick vegetation, they can see from far, they can smell well, they're not threatened. But you see them, we saw them the other day, you see them in the thicket and they're actually they act very timid. So that was interesting for me. Maybe they have conceived by Ubuntu and they're feeling a bit hormonal, I don't know. But it's interesting how their behavior does differ when they're out in the open versus when they're in the thicket. I'm really hoping that they have conceived successfully and that we're going to have little Lula and Kalula offspring. That would be fun. So Mary, it would be awesome to head into the fig tree forest. I would be very keen to do that. My only concern at the moment is that the Rietspruit is still flowing, so we actually can't drive in it. Brent and I made the Brent, I was an accomplice. We made the embarrassing decision to drive in one of the rivers the same night that we were testing the camera, and we got stuck for 20 minutes. We had to like dig ourselves out. So I'm not going to be doing that. I'm not going to be driving in the Rietspruit in the fig tree forest. At least not today. Maybe when we have clearance that it's dried up. It's very easy to think that you can do something, but by this time of the year, when you've had this much rainfall, it's not wise. I like to do wise things. So there's something that you need to like clarify here, Carol, when you say Brent never gets stuck. What it is that among guides, we like to boast that we never stuck. But the reality is all of us get stuck all the time. You're only considered stuck if you need to ask for help from an external or another vehicle. So if you can get yourself out on your own, even if it takes you 2 hours, you were not technically stuck. That's how we qualify getting stuck. And there's another degree, but we would never use that degree in this context because these cars are so light. But the further to that is tractor stuck, getting so stuck that you need a tractor to get you out. But we were convincingly stuck 2 nights ago. We just managed to get ourselves out. And the cars are so light. We were in the Badger, so not this vehicle. But the cars are so light that you can get away with a lot in these little Jimneys. They are fantastic filming vehicles because they get you into any space. They're light, so you don't get stuck. You're not like as easily stuck. We did get stuck. I was quite confused there. I see the music comment. We are live! Hey Becky! You made me think that I'd been taken off air, but I'm here. Sorry if I got caught halfway through my train of thought there. All right, so leadward bound. Leadward bound to see what we can see. There is so much insect activity and so much butterfly activity at the moment. The brown veined whites are the most common butterfly we're seeing at the moment, and it's as though they're swarming for their migration. And now that I want to show you them, it's actually quite tricky. They're all around us, but it's going to be tricky for Basil to put them on camera. Maybe here on the right, Basil, there's one that's, I don't know if you can get, fluttering around in the undergrowth. Yeah, that's the one, yeah. So nice following, that's gone now. Imagine hundreds of those, and that's kind of what we're experiencing at the moment, but they're quite small, and when they are against the sky they're quite difficult to see. We are seeing, I think today if I've seen 10,000 of them, it would be a fair guess. We went into town this morning, Gareth and I, and on our way back it was like it was a migration. It was just swarms and swarms of them. But what happens is that they move to areas where there's better breeding, and they're particularly active in the swarming and migrating process after big rains, which obviously we've just had. There's something in the road. Does it look like a hat? Yep, it's a hat. It's nothing that's very wild. Alrighty. Somebody left a hat on the floor. Good to pick it up. Pick it up so that we don't find animals playing with it. I'll let people know that we found it. So there's lots of these brown-winged whites. Let's see if we can get any more coming through here. I don't know if it's tricky, Basil. You let me know.
Well, they don't sit still. That's the problem.
Oh no, they do not sit still. They have a goal to achieve and a mission to accomplish. They only have a 4 to 6 week lifespan. That's from egg. My goodness, they're everywhere. From egg to death. So they need to reproduce and lay their eggs as quickly as possible now. But we're seeing a couple of other species as well. We're seeing the Acreus species, we're seeing the diadems, and we're seeing the African monarchs, and we've just got a lot of butterflies that are all around. A butterfly really brings its own level of vibrance. I love butterflies. Copy. Well, while we're heading towards Leadwood, I mean, we're doing a bit of a roundabout route, but I want to just, there's some rhino in this area, so maybe we'll get lucky. But it's so frustrating because look, can you see all of them? They're everywhere. All these butterflies. While we're heading to Leadwood to potentially find Mabai and her cub, it's a good time to let you know that this is your last chance to get your hands on, if you're one of our pack members, of course, to get your hands on our keyword, our photo for the week. Our keyword is jump. The high resolution photo is of the cheetah jumping. It's on screen now. But if you would like a copy of this, remember, all you have to do is email info@paintedog.tv and we will send you a high resolution image of the cheetah jumping. Tomorrow is Monday, and Monday will bring with it a new keyword, so hurry, hurry, hurry if you want to get your hands on the jump keyword. Summer is such a pretty time of the year, but I didn't appreciate how thick this property could get when I started in September, because in September it's nice and brown. There's no leaves on trees. It doesn't look nearly as thick as it does when it's green. It's very green. Lots of herbaceous plant species around as well. Let's check, where do we want to be? No, I'm going to go this way. Let's go past Lowveld of South Africa. See if we get lucky with anything there. I think that that's where the rhino were left. So it would be nice to see them. It also would be nice to see. Oh, apparently they did get that far. So Gareth showed you the dam on Friday. There was a monarch, or maybe a common diadem, I'm not sure, because I saw it in a split second. And what happens with one of the common diadems mimics the African monarch, because the common diadem is a very tasty butterfly to butterfly predators. It's a great snack, and the African monarch is actually quite toxic. So the common diadem has mimicked the coloration and the patterning of the African monarch. So if an animal were to eat an African monarch, it will learn, okay, this thing is very colorful, I'm committing it to memory, I'm never going to eat this ever again. And so that will protect common diadems from becoming the food of, well, food for animals that like to snack on butterflies. And so it's a clever protection strategy. And you know what, by default, it helps the African monarch too, because if there's an excessive amount of these butterflies that are colored a certain way, less of them will be eaten. So who says that being copied is a bad thing? What was that saying? I'm butchering it, but there's something about it being the highest form, or the highest compliment is to be copied. That's not the saying either, but it's to that effect. That's why I always feel flattered when Basil has the same hairstyle as me. Just jokes. Not yet. Okay, we're nearly there.
There's a lioness at the gate, very close to the Rietspruit gate. Purple only one.
Oh, that is very far away, but maybe we'll get there. Sounds like there's a lioness at the Leadwood, the entrance gate to Leadwood. We are not yet on Leadwood, so unfortunately, I mean, we can try, but if you imagine a square, we're just below the square over here, and the Leadwood gate is in the top left corner, so we're below the bottom right corner. The Leadwood gate, where that lioness is the top left corner. So let's just see how we go. If we manage to make good time. What's on the road? Oh my goodness, is it a monkey? Did you see? I thought it was a cheetah. It's not a cheetah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's go have a look.
About the lioness.
I think it's a vervet monkey. I just wanted to stop to.
I couldn't find the track this morning, but I think the males are with him as well, because I had male tracks going through.
Must have been a vervet monkey. Did you see what I saw there, Basil?
Okay, copy that. Very close gate. I'm not going to follow. It's purple only one. Yeah, I'm on the window. It's supposed to be
I think if it were what I mean, initially I thought it was a cheetah lying in the road, but what it was it is a barat. It's a vervet monkey that was on its back legs looking up. So with the sun and the light, I got really excited. I thought we'd found a bye-bye and a cub, but that is not the case. Yep, vervet monkey tracks. That one made itself scarce really quickly. We had that troop of vervet monkeys around Hayes, which are far more relaxed than this individual. Far too relaxed. Alrighty, we're approaching the dam now. It's worth just going a little slower, scouting to see if anything's heading towards the water. My goodness me. That's beautiful. Sure. I think if Basil can show you in a minute, but if you have a look at how stunning this huge, I mean, that water's so full now. So if you go in, you see where these three little plants are poking out the water? That is where we set up for drinks on a private safari about 4 weeks ago. So there's been a heck of a lot of rain. What do we say, 6 inches in 3 days that we had at the beginning of this week, last week, beginning of this week. Carol, today is National Popcorn Day. That must mean that we'll find a leopard. I don't know if it means we'll find one. We'll do our best, but it does mean that we can hope to sniff one. I wouldn't mind smelling popcorn. I wouldn't mind eating popcorn, but not if I'm smelling it in the bush. That'll be weird. Right, let's carry on. Carry on. See if there's anything else. Now look at all those foam nest tree frog nests. So, I mean, I think most of you are well acquainted with this. I would love to watch them hatch. I've only seen it once, but this is a perfect place. Now that the water's come up and the dam is filled, this fallen over tree would never have been an option for these frogs because it wouldn't have been hung over water. But now it's a fallen over tree. The drop is not too high. It's an absolutely perfect spot for them to build their nests. You can see there's at least, I think, 5 different nests that are there in various phases. The one over here, that one looks like they've hatched. You can see it's, compared to the one just above it, that one does not look like it's hatched. So if you look at the two of them in comparison, you can see that the one underneath looks kind of like a deflated balloon, whereas the one just above still has a lot of vitality in it. So I'd imagine that the one at the bottom of the screen, those tadpoles have already dropped into the water and started the next phase of their life. Whereas the one just above that still needs to happen, still needs to hatch. I really, really love these foam nest frogs and how ingenious they are about eliminating an entire phase of life where predators could eat their offspring. Water predators. Their eggs are totally protected. So clever. That is why they are the species that we see frequently. Even when we're exercising and they jump out at us. I'm sure some of you remember that story, but I'll never forget the day my exercise was cut short by a frog. In fairness, I believed it was a snake, and I was sure I was about to die because I have a melodramatic brain. Oh, that's where we're gonna have our mountain moment. Look at it. Wow. Oh, that's exquisite. Becky, I'll answer your question in 1 minute. Let's just enjoy this. Alrighty, I'm going to carry on. There's a vehicle coming up behind us. That's beautiful. Becky, I couldn't agree more. It does belong on a wall. It is exquisite to see all these dams so full and then have the mountain backdrop behind them. So here's some more of these foam nest frog nests. And to answer Becky asks if the nests are hard or if they're soft. So the outer layer of the nest hardens to form a crust, and then that acts as an insulator. It's also a protector, and then on the inside it's a lot softer. So it's kind of like, this one's also, they've hatched here. It's kind of like a meringue. That's how we always describe it. Clever frogs. Mary is greeting Eileen, the shepherd tree above us now, and because it leans over. I had no idea you'd named this shepherd tree, Mary, but I'm not surprised. I love that she's called Eileen. She really is a leaning tree of Rietspruit. The leaning tree of Rietspruit, a Boscia albitranca, also known as the shepherd's tree. Where to next, Basil? We should actually get onto Leadwood if we want to find the Leadwood animals. I'm having so much fun getting there. I'm getting distracted by the little things. Little things in summer are what makes summer so special, because it's vibrant. There's creatures everywhere, and they're not the big creatures, because big creatures spend most of summer slumping around sleeping because it's so hot. But the little creatures are fascinating. I mean, we have these, we've spoken about recently on my last drive. There's the string of stars, which is everywhere at the moment, the flowers. Or if you wanted to do a bit of scientific reading on them, they'd be called the Helichrysum krausi. Heli refers to the fact that they follow the sun. Their flowers follow the sun. And then there's, of course, all the dung beetle species. And there's the frogs. There's just a lot of vibrance, a lot of stimuli in an environment like this in summer. And then, not to forget, especially not while I have basil on the back, is all the birds that come through in summer. We get all of the migrant birds. So summer is super cool out here. And the sun sets so much later, so you can have so much, well, you can stay out longer. I would say you can have more fun, but, well,
just to the
one second.
on Global Eastern Fence line, just north of Port.
So what I was saying is that I was going to say that you can have so much more fun in summer, but it's not true. You just have different types of fun. You're certainly not going to go frogging in winter, that's for sure. Oh, there's an African hoopoo. It flew away from us, unfortunately. Hold on, Basil. Something that I wish technology could get to is the transfer of smells. I wish we could send you some of the smells, especially of some of these herbaceous plants. So, I mean, like this. This is one of them. Now, this is wild aniseed, and it smells like aniseed. It smells like a combination of a packet of licorice when you first open it and cough syrup, but like very pungent. Good old school licorice, not like a watered down kid friendly version of licorice. That's what it smells like. And then there's others as well. So let me see if I can use my vocabulary to convey a smell. As a child, and well, to be honest, I haven't really warmed to it that much as an adult either, but licorice was really not something I loved as a child. Okay, this testicular up here is freaking out. It's moved to the left as though let's have a look to see. I'm gonna roll forward, see if there's not a snake. You've got a snake?
A snake.
Is there?
Nope.
Oh. No, there's a few different bird species hopping around here, but I'm gonna go forward because they're all yelling at something in here. They're all psh, 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 psh. They're all looking in this direction. Go slowly. The one on the left is particularly bad, up at the top there. Something's distressed this bird. Yeah, I know. Let's check here. I'm just gonna keep my eyes peeled because, I mean, this level of bird discomfort could mean that there's a snake or something. Hear them. I don't know if you can hear them. So they'll make that noise as an alarm call if they've seen something that's worried them. They're quite flitty. They're moving between 3 or 4 different trees, but more on the right-hand side here. Now, obviously, if it's a predator, they don't want to be too close, but they also would rather not let it out of sight. So they need to find that balance. Usually, though, if there were to be a snake or something by now I would have expected us to be able to see it. It's tricky because it's thick, so it could have gone down into the grass. They're also not pointing in one direction or staying still. It's a needle in a haystack. Methinks. Pretty cool to watch that behavior or hear that behavior. I couldn't watch it very much because they were moving so quickly. But very, very typical of birds who are in distress to be doing that high-pitched or psh, 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 psh noise to try and deter predators and alert other birds in the area to the fact that there is danger, 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 danger. What are you all? What's everyone chatting about? I got so distracted. Yeah, Mary, it seems to be a very refined palate who can honestly say that they enjoy licorice. My mom likes licorice. Okay, that's good to know, Becky, that licorice in a tea form is really good for a sore throat. I will do some research. Perhaps this wild aniseed is good for something like that. I do find it interesting how they use candy these days to trick kids into eating medication. It seems like your mom was ahead of the curve, Mary, if you were eating medicine disguised as candy when you were a child. But if you know that smell, I mean, that smell is so, it can only be one thing when you open a packet of licorice, and especially if you squish the air out and you get a nose full. That's exactly what wild aniseed smells like. Ooh, it is nice and bright. And then we have a lot of different wild sage types out here as well, which is deliciously good to sniff. I haven't eaten these sages because I'm not sure I trust them, but there are very many sages that you can get, and some of them are fine and some of them are not fine. So you just need to be really good about your identification before you decide to use it to actually cook with. everybody. We lost you, but we have you back, which is great. I don't know where we got to or if you saw our bunting, but he was very cute little bunting. I hope you got it because it might be another one for some of your lists. I know Barbara started a new list and so has Carol. Barbara intentionally, Carol was forced. But if you haven't got the cinnamon breasted bunting, we'll just have to try again. If we didn't see it now. Because I don't know exactly when you lost the stream, but... Oh no! Okay, we'll try again, Carol. Maybe not this drive, maybe this drive, if we're lucky. But we are finally on Leadwood. I've been threatening to get to Leadwood all day. But I've had too many things that have been too exciting. Maybe we'll get lucky with, I'm hoping we'll get lucky with the jackals. That would be nice. I have seen them a few times recently. Those pups are doing so well. They're like little sub-adults now. And... Whoa! Nyala. He gave me the fright of my life. Can you get him in there, Basil? It's just his booty. You've got it. On the right. There. If I go back a little, maybe. Anyway, he just gave me a fright. You can see him maybe forward. There. He's right on the edge of the road, and because it's quite thick, you come up on things quite quickly. But it's a male. I'm not sure if he's alone. I think he is alone because nobody else seemed to move. Usually they're in small aggregations, so there should be more. But it wouldn't surprise me if he's on his own either. Look at that beautiful beard that you've got there in your screen hanging below his neck. Looks like a mature male. Definitely a male. Yeah, mature male. So he should have females nearby and even other males. They like to be in small groups. You can see the white tips. You could just briefly on the tips of his horns there. So that'll tell us more or less that he's an adult and mature. He has vanished. He has taken a leaf out of his cousin the kudu's book and vanished. So we'll leave him. There are lots of flies. Flies are one of the things that are perhaps not a perk of summer. We get a lot of flies and mosquitoes. So peaceful. I feel so content. Maybe we'll get lucky, Basil, if we get there. I say if we get there because if anything surprises us and we manage to get an awesome sighting between here and then we might not get there. But if we get to Leadwood Dam, maybe. Oh, we might not. There's a rhino and a calf. Oh, so cool. Hi. Now the calf. Is it No Hope? Yeah. Looks like No Hope and her calf. You can see that funny notched ear on her left, our right. It's got a bit of a tear up there. Also, Gareth and I were out last night and we came across no hope on her. She had all 3 of her most recent offspring with her, her current calf, her little boy, and then her little girl who was the litter before that. So she had all of them with her, but she was in a really bad mood yesterday. I don't know why she was in a bad mood. Hopefully she's in a better mood today. Look at her body language though. She's actually very aware of us. We're at a significant distance. Her head's up, her ears are facing us. She was alert. She's kind of making some noises. I don't know if it's just to maybe call her calf back to her. I'm going to get a little bit closer. I'm just going to watch her body language and see what she's up to. I don't want to put pressure on her if she's having a few grumpy days. Everybody's allowed to feel off sometimes. I think this is an incredible rhino. And the fact that she, for so long, was considered sterile, and now she's just produced. I mean, she's on her. Carol, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is her 4th litter on Rietspruit. Litter. Her 4th calf. You wouldn't really call it a litter. You can see the little one in the background there. Her 5th, Andrew says. I know she's got an adult bull. And then the 3 that we saw yesterday, and there's another one in the mix somewhere. They're making it a bit tricky for us. I'm going to pull forward a little bit more. Magnifico! This is amazing. How's that, Basil? Yeah. I don't think it's gonna. I'm gonna pull forward a bit. More? We are losing them now. I'm gonna see if there's any gap that we can get over here. Alrighty, we lost you for a second, but we also lost no hope. There is, the calf is in there. Can you see it, Basil? I don't know if you can. It's tricky now. They've really not made it very easy, but we did have an amazing view of her at the beginning. So this is it. You just see the little tail. Isn't that adorable? Cute. It's growing so quickly. Baby animals are always the best. I think Mary and Carol, you're all right. You are correct. Apparently this is the 5th. Wouldn't it be amazing if she had a 6th? Baby is in front of her there. So this is the back of No Hope that we're looking at now, and behind her on the other side, the baby is moving. But it's tricky to see. Now it's completely covered by her, so you can see a tail that flicks every now and then. That's also in that corner. But somebody that I would love to meet is the new rhino cow and calf. There's a new rhino cow and calf that I haven't yet seen, that I've been seeing quite frequently on Leadwood. Our view is very obscured now, but still lovely. Still lovely to see her, and in a bit of a better mood than yesterday. Station says a rhino cow and calf on Leadwood Drive, just to the north of the junction with Lodge Pan Road. They are quite deep in the block. I'm going to be leaving them to themselves. Before we found her, I was going to say, wouldn't it be nice to finish, well, to see some hippos? But if we want to see hippos, we can't get interrupted because we've still got some ground to cover. So now, I'll just think it. It would still be lovely, but the chances of us bumping into other awesome things are also quite high, so that'll be nice too. There's also a lot of this string of star up here, and the reason I'm so fascinated by it is because it's because it's a pioneer species. It actually means that these areas don't get much grass, if any grass at all, throughout the year. So by the time winter comes along, this is still not a palatable area. This string of stars is not palatable, and not very palatable. And so what happens, the summer is the season of plenty. When it becomes winter and it dries up, the grass that's left, animals make do on. But this is going to dry up, and it's not going to change from something that's unpalatable to something that is palatable. So it's just very fascinating for me, because we often will see animals in this area on Leadwood, in these open clearings, and scattered throughout the Helichrysum, the string of stars, there are grasses. But it's just very interesting because we are watching the succession of this land. We are at primary pioneer phase on so much of this property, and that means that it's only going to become more productive in terms of grazing, which will mean it's more productive in terms of general game, which will mean it's more productive in terms of, well, everything. So it's going to be interesting as well in the next couple of years, because I think, chatting to Brent and Kevin, it's had about 3 years of flowering, and it hasn't flowered as prolifically in previous years, but I think it's because we have had quite a dry, wet season, and now we've had a lot of rain, so it's been able to invest in flowering. It's a very hardy species, but it doesn't always produce a flower. Basil, do you think we should head to Leadwood Dam and see if we can see hippos, or do you think we should take a loop back and see if we can find jackals? I don't know if we can. Basil's so funny. Basil wanted to come this way because he wanted to see the jackals. But I think let's head to Leadwood Dam, and we might still have time to head back in this direction and try Concert Drive or one of the roads a little bit further north. Also, if we head to the dam, we'll be close to where those lionesses were at the gate, and maybe they'll come and drink from the dam. Maybe we'll see a hippo and a lion interaction. I'm getting carried away, but that would be cool. Michael, nobody's seen the black rhino recently. We were speaking about this just before I left for game drive. I mean, they've been seen, just not by us, just not on live drives. So it would be so nice. I think I'm trying to think if I was the last person to have them, or if Andrew had them like very briefly, like very, very briefly. But all the sightings of them have been brief of late. The new rhino yet, that would be great. It would be wonderful. She does stay in this area. She hangs out in this area. Am I good? Alrighty. Yeah, so that's what we'll do, I think. I think we'll head up to the dam, see if the hippos are there, catch up with Toothless, the baby hippo, and then see if the lioness was around. Kevin on the radio seems to think that there'll be more than one lion in this area because he had tracks for the males as well, but couldn't find them this morning. So I think what we'll do is hang out.
That line is navigation just west of the contractor's road.
Hi Rosemary, nice of you to join us. I'm glad you made it too. Pick up our pace a bit. Somebody's just relocated that lioness and she's now moved a little bit, so I'm just going to cover a bit more ground. Luckily we're on the main road now. Oh my goodness, that is a very cute animal. Look at that thing. It's a baby giraffe. Oh my word, it's so cute. Right there. It looks like it's hiding behind a tree. I'm the tree. Its mother is just on the right of it, behind some thicket. So we'll just enjoy this little one. Very curious, focusing on us. Flicking its tail, making sure it's getting rid of all the insects that are landing, but this is a very young giraffe. Difficult to tell, but it's actually very small. It's not a big one at all. Mother's also very focused on us. Can you see her there, Basil?
See a mother?
Yeah.
I don't see the mother.
Just on the right of the baby, so the right of that tree, she's here. This is her. There you go. She's also watching us. She'll soften quickly when she realizes we're no threat to her or her baby. And then she might carry on feeding. Some herons flying over. calling as they go. There they are. Great stuff. Grey herons. Ah! Hello, Africa Sky. Nice to see you. There's, I mean, the cutest baby animal is the baby animal that you're with, but there's nothing quite like a very young giraffe with a scrunched up face and ossicones that just have so much fluff on the top that it's almost excessive. But those ossicones, when this giraffe was born, were not fused to the skull. They're probably not fully fused even now. And that's just because if they were fused to the skull and they had become bone in the ossification process, then when the baby drops from the mother in birth, you could get a lot of trauma to those ossicones. So a very cool feature of the giraffe is that they're actually cartilage or a cartilage-like material, and very porous, so they're supple, and then they over time fuse to the skull, and by the time it's an adult they're considered bone. They're not a horn or a antler, they're their own thing, but it's very similar to a horn, except this has a skin covering as opposed to a sheath. Now if this is a little boy, those ossicones are going to eventually become bald as it practices its fighting. And if it's a little girl, they'll stay very fluffy. I think it's probably, hi there, it's probably a little, I don't know, my knee jerk would say it's a little male, but that's just because those look like I really can't tell, it's just a feeling. They look like they're slightly thicker ossicones than I would expect a young female to have, but at this age, it's actually negligible. Michael Fleetwood, this is a great question. Is there osteophagy learned behavior or instinctual? From my observations, I would say that it's instinctual, because the need for calcium, so osteophagy is the process, we see it a lot in giraffe, but it's still unique to watch, is giraffe will pick up really old bones and then they'll suck on them and they extract minerals from the bones, especially calcium, and you see it a lot. They'll play with it in their mouth. I think I've even posted on my Instagram page if anyone really wants to watch it. There is, or maybe the Felt Like It, one of our Instagram pages, there's really cool up close footage of it. But the process of chewing and playing with a bone in their mouth really helps them supplement their diet. What age do they practice osteophagy? Well, I don't think it's very young. Especially definitely not at this age, but when they start to feel like they're lacking particular nutrients, then they'll do it. I see it more in the dry season. I'm not sure if that's because they're lacking more in the dry season or if it's just because it's easier to see them picking up bones in the dry season. But I'll find out and I'll let you know. I'm on drive again tomorrow, so if you hop on tomorrow, I'll be able to let you know, or I'll let everybody know and they can let you know. But at roughly what age giraffe will start practicing osteophagy? Of course, they are herd animals, and so there's always a chance that it could be more of a learned behavior. But I think that the way they have to contort their bodies to get to the ground to be able to pick up a bone as herbivores, I don't think that they would do that because it's a habit or a behavior that they've learned. I think they do that because they are lacking something in their systems that they need to compensate for. Yeah, Africa Sky, they do sound a little bit like dinosaurs, or those herons when they fly over. I'm sure you're well acquainted with that if you have a heronry nearby. Let's leave him. Let's continue with our plan. We were in the Delta 2022, and we're looking to go again this year. But in the Delta in 2022, we went to Heronry. It's just a natural island in the middle of the Okavango Delta that is, you cannot see the ground for herons and egrets and all sorts of big water dwelling or water reliant birds. So we saw a plethora of different bird species, but what blew my mind was the noise and the smell. It's a sensory overload, and there must have been a couple of thousand, maybe more, birds on this heronry. It's funny that it's called a heronry because it's not just herons, but it was an amazing experience. And the Okavango Delta is so unique because it's just desert land, and then it's punctuated by this beautiful sprawling wetland that just takes over and brings such vitality and vibrance to the area. I love it. I love it. So cool. The problem with these kind of birds, and we've had this, it's not a problem, but it happens. We had it at our family home in the Western Cape, is that they decide that they're going to use one tree only, and then their excrement and their parasites and everything, they kind of overrun the tree, and the tree often will even die because you can see up to 40 or 50 individuals that are using just one tree. They decide they're going to nest in just one tree, and then they take it over, and then because of how acidic their feces are and how they just like cover this tree, they struggle to survive the trees, and then they move over to the next one. But this is in a residential area, and so parasites can be a huge issue as well for residents, because those birds, I mean, they get mites and fleas and things, which is all very natural. It's interesting to watch how humans perceive wildlife and how the integration of these two things, it's always dynamic, always changing, how people perceive wildlife and how wildlife manage to filter into our everyday lives. I bet you even if you live in some of the biggest cities and the most built up cities, you can attest to the fact that there's birds everywhere, or you'll see insects. Africa Sky, you have to come to the Okavango Delta. It is like a magical paradise. It's not like anything else I can describe. It's absolutely wild, firstly, as you can imagine, totally wild. And then not only is it totally wild, but it's just like, it has an essence about it that is very untamable. I don't think our hippos are here, Basil. Hey? Oh my goodness, maybe they've moved. Wouldn't surprise me. They've got a lot to choose from now with all the dams, but...
Over that side, I think
Can you see them? Okay, let's go around to that side. I'm not seeing the hippos. I'm not even seeing enough activity in the water. I wonder if we should try and get to that lioness. zebra over there. Stations, I'm keen to head towards the lioness around Leadwood Gate. I'm less than 5 out.
It'll be about 5.
Okay, I think let's head towards that lioness in case she starts moving. The other lionesses on Kaya are moving. So if they start calling, there could be a little bit of responding to one another. It would be awesome. I'd like to check. Hi there. That guy's got a little car just like us. All these Impala. Impala are good to know that they're in this area. Something. Wildebeest as well. Hi there. Well, how are you?
Good.
Were you just at that lioness?
I saw the lioness, yeah, but apparently now they've said contractors, it sounds like there's quite a lot of people.
Oh, okay.
Kevin's going to also go now, and I don't know if someone else is saying they're going.
I said I was going.
Oh, you. No, that's cool.
Okay.
You can tell me how many vehicles.
Yeah, if there's a few more, then I'll just see. Yeah. Okay. Nice to see you. Sounds like there are a few cars there. Let's see if she's... in this area. Man, it would be so nice to see them. Put them on camera for you after we track them on Friday. No, when was I? It was Wednesday. Oh, there is a tracklet. Shall we? Let's go. Let's cross onto contractors and see if we can find her on that road. There's a little 2-track that heads across here. Hold on, Basil. Hold on.
This is leaving the log of these 3 lionesses on Ridge Road. Now just split it in the middle of the road itself.
The last time I saw my bye-bye and her cub. No, it wasn't the last time. But I had an amazing sighting with her here. In this area. The last time I saw her was on a Zoom drive. A Tuesday morning Zoom drive. We had them playing. That was amazing. After we had the lions looking like they might want to hunt giraffe. That was a fantastic Zoom drive. Zoom drives are always the best. Okay, I see the cars, so I assume she's here somewhere. There are a few vehicles. Oh, there she is. Okay, Basil, I don't know. Try and park so that you can see her. Can I come in? Alright, she's sleeping now. Tricky. I'm gonna have to move for you when you want to go. I'm gonna have to move for you when you want to. I'm good, I've got her. Thank you. Oh, thank you. There she is. Really is just the one.
Just one, yeah. She was here and then in the bush here, and then she moved just after we got here.
Well, it's quite nice into the open.
Yeah.
Nice of her. Stations, I've joined the sighting of the lioness. She's resting. I wonder if she's aware that her pride are on
I think she leaves.
Kaya. She probably is, yeah.
She goes on her own walkabout.
They've been doing this a lot lately. There's Carol and Connie. There's something about the Zoom drives that just is very productive. Gareth and I always laugh at it because it doesn't seem to be fluke anymore. The level of productivity we get to see is unbelievable. Mary, it's very tricky to see which lioness this is right now. It's possibly near Letty, but I mean my lighting is not fabulous. You're going to have to let me know if you get some good screenshots, if you can tell me who she is. I think it's a younger lioness. She's beautiful. She's listening to something. Look, her ears are pricked in this direction. Her hearing is so much better than ours, so she'll pick up on things that we have no idea are going on. Insects are definitely bothering her. Look at that ear, keeps flicking. How beautiful the back of her ears are. You can see her tail as well, the tip of her tail black like the back of her ears. So very distinctive for when she's moving with the with the pride. They'll be able to follow one another with very low light conditions. But those are redundant at the moment while she's alone. Just sit with her for a minute and see what she gets up to, see if she decides to get moving or if she calls to find out where the rest of the pride or the males are. We know that there's lots of impala and wildebeest not far from here, so perhaps she'll move in that direction. We'll just sit with her for a little bit longer, especially since there seem to be no hippos at Leadwood Dam. Have you seen the hippos recently?
We saw them a couple of days ago.
No,
but
no,
not-
yesterday. They were yesterday. Yesterday they were in Leadwood.
Yeah,
I haven't looked at it,
they're not there now.
aren't they?
No,
They went to, well, I didn't really look at Porfada. I went to Porfada, but I didn't really.
no,
Did you go down to Leipzig?
not today.
Yeah.
North Lowveld.
How her attention has changed. Okay, she's lost interest, but she was quite focused in that direction for a little while. It's the perfect time of day for her to consider getting up. Nope. They're all beautiful lionesses, Mary. They're very pretty girls.
We've got a crash of about 7 white rhinos on Kudu North, near the junction of Kudu North, Giraffe. They're just watering in the small mud here.
There you go, yawn. I do think she's going to get up. Yeah, Mary, you're listening too closely to my radio, but yes, 7 rhino. That was on Kaya. Another yawn. She's bound to move. Probably going to start grooming. I'll have to have a look at home, Carol. I'm not sure if it's near Leti or not. Oh, okay. Oh, that looks like a notch on the inside of her right ear, so it won't be near Leti. It'll be one of the younger individuals. You see that there? Yeah, it's one of the 3 females. It's not bucket either. Basil, shall we see if there's an angle that we can get her face from? Yeah. Just gonna check from this angle. Alrighty. So I think she's well, she's one of Nialeti's daughters. Were she Bucket or Nialeti, we would have been able to tell by now. But she has a notch in her ear which makes it conclusively, there she is, not Nialeti. And she's also not Bucket. So she's one of those three. I'll put a light on her in a minute. There are some other vehicles in the siding as well who have decided they haven't yet put their lights on. So I'm just going to leave it. We've got some good low light there for now. Okay, Carol, that narrows it down. It's not D1, daughter number 1, I suppose. That would be my assumption. So it'll be daughter number 2 or daughter number 3. Whoever she is, she's really threatening to move now. Yes, I assumed as much. D for daughter. Maybe I can give you some images that will help you with these ID kits, and then we can put one together that's very easy to use. Okay, I said 5 minutes ago, but she has shown signs of movement. Let's give her 5 more minutes and then make another assessment on whether or not we're going to stick around with her or go to look for the jackal pups. That's yawn number 5. She's yawning frequently now. I think it would be great too. I drew pictures of all of them, so I've hand-drawn pictures of all of these lionesses. So for those of you who are new here and who haven't quite or haven't spent a lot of time with these lions, when they yawn like this, it's an indication that they're going to move, especially when they yawn 6 times like she just has. If can I try this, Basil? Better with it on or off? On. Cool. So yawning, grooming, stretching, if they were defecating, urinating, if they were in a group playing, all of those are signs and indications of movement. So, oh, that's beautiful. So she's been doing a lot of yawning. Okay, this is promising. Let me try and turn around so we can... Let me know if there's anyone behind me, Basil. No one. I can reverse. Are you sure? I don't want to reverse into somebody. She's looking like she's coming in this direction, so the vehicle that's in front of her is actually just trying to give her a bit of space. So we're gonna wait for her to come this way. She is there. You can see her there, Basil. Pull you forward a little bit. No, she's moving. Okay. She's going to come out just on this side of the tree. Oh. She's taking the path we took in. She's beautiful. I'm going to reverse. Is that Basil? Okay, let's go with her. We're going to follow her from so typical, isn't it, that they go the way you've come from. It's beautiful watching her. We're going to carry on trying to stay with her. It's Kevin and Gareth and Greer in front of us. Part of the crew. This is how we have meetings in the wild, everybody. We go on a game drive. It's the easiest way to chat about things. Yeah, she's just here on my right. Nice work. Is there any prey species? Let's check. I don't want to give her away if she is going to start hunting. This was the direction that we had those impala. Sorry, I can't really see her from here now. But she is carrying on. Oh, she's actually standing still right here, so she's just in this thicket over here towards a little bit further back. Now I can see her, her posture's frozen. I think it's very likely that she's listening, keeping an ear and an eye out for anything that she could potentially hunt. So we're just going to spend a few minutes here and see if anything changes. Can you see her, Basil? Okay, cool, just checking.
Patients leaving the log of this crash of 7 rhinos, still static on Poole North on the junction of, almost on the junction of Giraffe, open log.
Oh, okay, Mary. I've got to say hello to Matthew Stradom and Kiana. Nice to know that you guys are all watching. That's very cool. And thank you, Mary, for bending the rules. Those are great friends of my very special cousin. So good to know that we have family and friends joining us on the public chat as well. That makes me very happy. Now we really have to keep our lights down and low if she is looking to stalk. The reason is that we'll very often give a hunt away and then influence the hunt if we put the lights on. So if we put the lights on now and we shine on her and there happens to be something behind her that she's showing interest in, then we give her away because we've shone a light on her, and the diurnal species, usually an impala or a wildebeest, can then see her. And if we shine on the wildebeest or the impala and we blind them, then we give the advantage to the lion. So we want to be as neutral as possible. In a minute or two we'll switch on and just see if there is any progress. But for now we're just going to sit tight. Kevin's just ahead of us, so he'll be able to tell us if anything develops. But this is what lion hunts are. They very much are kind of the bush equivalent of hurry up and wait. I wonder if it's worth... Not yet. Thought maybe it would be worth looping all the way around to see if we could get her on the other road. But if we flush the prey out, it's not going to be worth it. I actually can't see her now. Oh, she's lying down.
Yeah.
She's still got a bit of a stalking posture, so I don't want to shine on her just yet. She's fixated in that direction. So I mean, we know that we left impala here earlier. She's gonna have her work cut out for her on her own. She knows how to hunt in the pride, with the pride. She'll know how to hunt without the pride, but lions are very good at honing their skill set for specific species and with their pride members. So when things are changed in the hunting setup, they have to adapt to be able to overcome, to be able to catch their prey. But I mean, I've watched lionesses who've been lone lionesses in the Sabi Sands. The Marthley lioness, she's also known as the Solala lioness. She's alone. She lives like a leopard. She's had cubs now, so hopefully they're females and they grow up and actually form a pride. But that lioness lives like a leopard in that she knows how to hunt in a way that only she's needed. Whereas this lioness is part of a pride, and so flanking and actually forming like usually a half moon with a lioness that chases into the half moon. She's very much in a stalking position, this lioness. Kevin's just flashed quickly and you can see that she's focused on something. There's actually eye shine not far beyond her, so it's definitely what she's focusing on. There's impala not far from her. There's a lot of antelope moving. Sounds like she's running. You can hear, well, there's wildebeest coming directly towards me. Do you want to just switch this light off, Basil? Sorry, just because we're going to Sorry everybody, I know we're in complete darkness, but the wildebeest right here. I'm actually going to speak a bit softer.
Warren, closing down.
She is so close. The disco. It's a disco on the... She's so close to them, but I'm not sure if she's going to act on it because she's on her own, and these wildebeest are... It's a big animal for her to bring down on her own. So she's less than 15, 20 meters apart from them. The wildebeest are over here. Can you see them, Basil? There's one over here.
I can see one here.
Yeah, there's one here. She's just in front of us. I know you can't see me, but there's she's over here, and the wildebeest are over here. If you're looking at my little doodle, we are where the red cross is. So this is where the lion is. This is where the wildebeest are, and that's where the lion is, and that's where we are. So.
I don't think the contractors vary the area. I'm not sure whether they're fighting still current or not.
Affirmative. There's 2 stations in the sighting, but our lights are off because she looks like she's showing interest in some prey species. Just approach slowly. More wildebeest here.
Copy, thank you.
She's moving. Can you see she's moving?
I can see.
It looks like she's so close.
What's that?
There's more lions.
Yeah, there's a main.
Oh my gosh, there's a few lions here now. What is going on? She's right behind them.
There's like 2 lines.
I think it's more than one line. Yeah, they're roaring. They're on their way. So exciting. What is going on? She's running in. There's lions running past our car, everybody. Right, okay, I'm going to put the light on. Okay, it's happening. All happening behind us. Oh, they have. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's so cool. They were so close. I don't know how they didn't get them. Oh my word. What on earth? Okay, folks, I think we're going to extend by 10 minutes just so that we can see what, or 5 minutes, and see what the conclusion is here, and then take it from there. Kevin is going to go into the thicket. Oh my word. That is the most exciting thing I've seen in a long time, because the wildebeest had decided to stand all behind our car. I don't know if you could hear the footfall of the wildebeest running away. I'm gonna let Kevin go in. Oh, it's my car. It sounded like a dying wildebeest. What is that? Pardon? No. No, it's just my windscreen wipers, everybody. Kevin, have you got any sign of them at your position? Okay, Kevin can't, well, I can't see them. Not the wildebeest. I kind of agree with you, I bet you right now. that Gareth and Kevin are going to be wishing not the wildebeest too, but it is very exciting. It's very wild. We really want our wildebeest populations to be restored in this area, so we do feel like that, not the wildebeest, but it is super weird that they got so close to the back of the herd, and then she must have known that the rest of her pride were coming, and so the zebras are moving as well, but I'm not going to shine on them because they're so light sensitive. Oh, so cool. That was amazing. Let's go see if we can find them. Oh, that's so cool. Okay. So now if they're feeding, we might hear them. There's not as many of them, so we also might not. Yeah, there's some wildebeest up ahead as well. Yes, I agree with you. It's so funny how the diehards, Connie and and Mary, you both don't want them to get the wildebeest. There's so many impala in the area, but these lions don't mess around with impala. There were more than one big mouth to feed, so his eyes here, the lions are here. Kevin, there's a lioness at the contractor's gate. She is running in to the east. I could hear wildebeest in distress. Oh, sorry, not wildebeest, there she goes. Can you see her? Oh, she's going, she's running. Hold on, everyone. It's so exciting. What is going on? Oh, trash cans. We really are as far into Leadwood as you can come. This is amazing. Even just the thrill of having them all around our car, charging in. Where did they go? Where did she go? I heard distress calls. There's a lioness. I'm just going to park here and wait. She'll probably lead us to the rest of them. She's heard something that we haven't heard. Am I switch off? Her body language changed a little bit. There are lions roaring in the distance as well. So let's just go. She is moving. Oh, wrong side. You want to come past? Come on. Hello. Well, how are you? They are hunting, so if you want to go ahead. I thought so too, but 3 of them ran in. So listen to the zebra. Okay, you want?
We're going to just gently drive, see what we see.
Yeah. We'll be just behind you. Huh, I thought that was going to be Kevin and Gareth and Greer, but it wasn't. Anyway, it's good then to let them have a turn. She had more of a stealthy posture going on, but I don't think she had seen anything. There's a lot of zebras calling. She's up ahead there. She's not hunting though, she's just on the move. Let's just catch up with her and see if there's anything going on. So exciting, everybody! We're just going to let this conclude and then we will wrap drive, but you don't need to worry. As long as it's exciting, we're not going to just leave them. So I'm gonna quickly pop this spotlight on.
One line is walking along Lowveld Dam towards the dam, along Lowveld Drive towards the dam.
She's walking past me now, and she's going to where the others are roaring now.
Okay. We'll see. Oof. We'll see if we can get one more view of her, but she's not hunting anymore. Sounds like they're trying to contact call and link up with one another. So what an absolutely awesome evening. Let's see if we can just get one more glimpse of her and then we'll say goodnight. Carol, we're quite far from that baby giraffe. You don't need to worry about that. I mean, these lions travel vast distances. You know, they get across the whole reserve, so nothing is too far. But right now, that baby giraffe is not going to be a target for right now. I mean, it's possible that as the evening evolves and as more of the pride congregate together, it is possible that that area is an area that they'll pass through, but it's also that mother giraffe knows what she's doing. She should move her baby away. Yeah, the lioness is just ahead of us. Actually, I mean, I was absolutely convinced, head on a block, convinced that there was another 2 lions in the area, but because of the shapes we could see chasing the wildebeest. But it doesn't seem that she's linked up with them. It seems like she's responding to the other roars that were a little further away. So we're just going to, well, there's quite a few cars here now. But we're just gonna continue, and then if she moves off, we're gonna continue on. I'd love to show you her one more time just to say goodnight. Oh, that was very exhilarating. There she is. Maybe you can watch her go off into the darkness there. And there she goes. Alrighty. That's great, thank you. Well, everybody, that was probably one of my most exciting live drives. It was amazing. The anticipation of the hunt and what's going on around us and not being able to see heightens all your other senses. So you're alert, you're aware. It's just amazing. But we are going to leave her. There's a few cars that want to just see her before she slinks off into the night. So we're going to say goodnight to all of you. And bid you farewell until tomorrow, same time, same place. Have an awesome evening, everybody. Good night.